What's up, you guys? Listen, we are coming direct to you with an update on the Shanquella Robinson case. This time, if you don't know, her mother has done an explosive interview with Nancy Grace. Now, we're going to talk about how great it is that Nancy Grace is involved in this case. But first, let's talk about the interview. She dropped some bombs. What did she do? She confirmed that the investigators on Mexico and FBI are telling her nothing. They are not even sharing the name on the arrest. They've been completely left out of the loop on the investigation. She's also unknowingly implicating Nasir. If you don't know, Nasir actually did a live where he said he wasn't even there till 3:30. However, Shanquella's mom actually shares that Khalil called her and she has the timestamp on the call. Unfortunately, the first call actually blows apart their whole alibi. You guys, she even goes into detail about how she found the tape. It wasn't sent to her a few weeks later, like everybody assumes. No, she is saying that it was uploaded even before Shanquella's body was cold. You guys, this is explosive. And to get into this, right? She's also the same as the Metropolis MX is reporting. She's also saying that it's Winter Donovan, Khalil Cook, and she goes as far as to say that Malik Dreyer is also in the room with Dejanay as Shanquella is being viciously assaulted by that woman. But here's the thing. We did a little research, and this is why we figured they need Dejanay back, because you guys, there's really no way to tell whether it's Malik and Nasir, because you know what? Let's just get into the audio. I'm going to interrupt and break things down as they come. And we're also going to get back into that provisional arrest. If the parents are being left out of the loop, not out of spite, but just because that's the way the FBI and the Mexico government conducts their investigations, there very well could be a provisional arrest warrant out. I will explain what a provisional arrest warrant is. I have a whole, video about it. It's called Groundbreaking if you want to go deep into it. But a provisional arrest, even though they call it an arrest, is not like a normal arrest. It's where they snatch you up while they're getting ready to prepare the paperwork. But you guys, we can talk about that on the back end. Let's get into this explosive interview. Make sure you turn volume on if you're listening to this closed caption so you can really hear what her mom has to say. Now, this first clip is when she's talking about how and when she found out that Shanquella had alcohol poisoning and about her death. Listen to this.
Working on her, and as I got from reports saying that the ambulance was working on her for 2 to 3 hours, but no one ever decided to take her to the hospital.
Start at the beginning. When you get the call, where are you?
When I got the call, I was out eating.
Okay, so you were in North Carolina?
Yeah.
So North Carolina time, it was what, 7 o'clock at night?
It would have been about 6 or 7.
Okay, so she is in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico, so that I think would have been 3 hours behind. Like they're on California time, correct?
Yes.
So
now I just want to pause this right here. She said she was eating between 6 and 7. Nancy Grace is good at what she does, but everybody misspeaks. It's actually 2 hours behind North Carolina time. So if she was eating between 6 and 7 Eastern Standard Time, that means for the San Jose, Los Cabos area, 6 and 7, that means that she got the call between 4 and 5 p.m. this time. If you don't remember from the police report that was leaked by the Metropolis MX, and that the mom confirms various times in the interview, that information that was leaked is correct. The police report says that the medical people got the call. I'm sorry, the nurse got the call at 2:31. I'm sorry, the doctor got the call at 2:31. She arrived around 3:26. And then they called 911 after the first convulsion, and she was declared dead around 5:36 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so keep in mind, she's saying she received the first call saying it was alcohol poisoning between 6 and 7. However, that is between 4 and 5 p.m. Los Cabos time. Now listen to what else she has to say.
4 p.m. their time, 7 p.m. is your time. You get a call. And who called you?
Khalil Cook.
Who's that?
That's supposed to have been her best friend.
Did you say Salea Cook?
No, Kalia Cook.
Oh, the man.
Yes,
And he was a friend of hers. He had gone on family vacations. You knew him, right?
yes.
Okay. Were they romantically involved?
No.
Okay. Just
I thought that was very interesting for her to ask, were they romantically involved? We're going to get into this, but I just want to put these little seeds for you guys to remember. It's funny how, were they romantically involved? Where there have been rumors around that he did not like women. Just keep that in mind. We're going to come back to that.
look. And he calls you, correct?
Yes.
And he says what to you?
That Shanquella wasn't feeling good. He thinks she had drunk too much. She had alcohol poison. And I said, what is alcohol poison? Because I didn't even know what alcohol poison was.
Where did you find?
Now, this is very interesting. So even on the fake police report that was leaked from the Metropolis MX, right? And all that information that was leaked, that Nancy Grace is using it, and the mother is verifying that she actually saw a police report too. That's later in the interview. The whole point is, even on the fake police report that the Mexican police are saying that's BS, that couldn't have happened, and that's why they're investigating the doctor and the two police officers. Again, they have the EMTs arriving somewhere around 5:36 and declaring her legally dead. However, the first call that she received from Khalil, she's saying happened somewhere between 4 and 5 p.m. Los Cabos time. What does that mean? It means that they just destroyed Nasir's alibi. If what the mom, and she has no reason to lie, and she has phone records, if what the mom is saying can be held as true, and I have no reason not to believe her. Nasir said that he got there around 3 p.m. Remember, he said he put on Summer Walker and he was rubbing her head, and she was a little unresponsive, but this and that. That means that when they first called her mom, she said there were 3 phone calls. The first call to say she has alcohol poisoning, right? That was the first call. That's when the mom was like, well, get her to the hospital. And she said that it's on audio, but she said, no, they asked her for $5,000. They asked her for $5,000. She said, but she has insurance. They said, oh, well, they don't take insurance over here. They need cash. Again, some people think that they said that to extort the family so that they could pay off bribes. I actually think that could be it because they are being investigated. What happened is very odd. There's also another avenue. This is speculation that they were hoping to put an amount out there. Because don't forget, he's vacationing with the family. Put an amount out there that was so much that the family would be like, oh, well, we don't have 5,000 right now. Can we go to the bank or something? Because who keeps 5,000 in their cash, in their house? Something that they could use an excuse of, oh, well, we told you needed 5,000 to go to the bank, to go to the hospital, but you didn't have it, so we just left her there. I'm just saying that could be what it is. But let's get back to Nasir. If they were calling with the first lie at somewhere between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Nasir was there. She said they then called 2 more times, once to give her an update, and then the last time to say that she had transcended. Let's continue. We're actually going to get into now where the mom says she found the video online.
This video, Miss Robinson.
Online. Someone sent the video to us online.
Someone sent it to you?
Yes. When the video probably was, I believe the video was out before Shanquella actually had died, because someone called me and told me before they even arrived back to Charlotte from North Carolina that they was over there fighting her. So I didn't know how true it was. So after they got back, Shanquella had passed. The video had surfaced on Facebook, and someone sent it to my family. It started coming out. The video started coming out.
That is.
Now, pause on what she just said, because she dropped bomb after bomb, and it shows the depravity. And if what she's saying is true, and we have no reason to doubt it, this is conspiracy. All of them. Conspiracy with intent. You guys, she literally said that the video had surfaced before any of them came back to North Carolina. As a matter of fact, Before they even got back and she knew anything was wrong, so one of the family members had called, well, somebody had called her and said, they out there fighting in Mexico. The mom didn't know what to think. At this time, Miss Robinson had not even seen the video. Somebody was just like, yo, you know they out there fighting. Then when they got back, a family member, someone sent her the video, and that's when she got it. And I would assume she took it straight to the Mexico authorities, and it started being recirculated all over the web. But that video was uploaded, the mother believes, before they even got back to North Carolina. She had heard reports that they were fighting. She had heard reports. But listen to what Nancy says, because she makes a really good point.
It's a really big deal. Alexis, is it possible?
Again, this is a huge deal. This shows intent, this shows premeditation, and it shows knowledge. It also shows psychopathic vibes from all of them, that somebody uploaded it when you knew that person had transcended, and you didn't even if, first of all, what were you doing? Making fight videos naked? Why would you be trying to humiliate her? There's more to the story. But even once you found out, let's just say Alyssa or whoever didn't know, believe the BS. And it's like, oh my God, why didn't whoever post it? Why didn't they pull it down? The whole point was to show, to make a public spectacle, and to humiliate. Now, the why they would do that, besides being absolute psychos, that's for the FBI and the Mexico authorities to talk about. We're going to talk about them in a second.
These girlfriends post the video of Quella completely naked, being beaten to her death in the bedroom before she's even pronounced dead?
Yes, and that's what the timestamps and the information that has shown up on different websites where the video has been seen shows that it was almost like it was not a live broadcast, but really in real time happening. It didn't show up weeks later. It showed up almost immediately.
How can I prove that, Robert Crispin?
So this is one of the reasons that the FBI is involved now.
So anyway, they go into the way that you prove it, and this is why the FBI is involved now. There's timestamps. There's IP addresses. Everything you do online, from logging into Facebook, uploading something, what's been uploaded, where it's been shared, there is a digital record about this. Again, the FBI has an easy case with this. And if the FBI wanted to bring up charges, they actually could. However, we're going to get into that in a moment. It's important to note it was already uploaded. Okay. And also, we've also called Nasir's alibi into, because if they were calling, right, it also shows, it makes the doctor look shady. But we already know from the Metropolis MX and their investigative reported, they were the ones that leaked this first about the police report and about the doctors and the police officers being investigated. It sounds like, at least to me, they stayed on the scene, concocted an alibi, and then called the mom with the alibi. I will say this, when you look at the symptoms of spinal cord injury, right? When it hasn't caused immediate death, but because they didn't know that they were going to do an MRI or a CAT scan and actually check, but when it hasn't caused immediate death, usually you die within 15 minutes of it. When it hasn't caused immediate death, the symptoms are eerily similar to someone that has alcohol poisoning, not being able to talk, not being able to focus, lethargic, coordinate. There's all these things that if you are a layman, a doctor could have plausible deniability, saying, oh my God, I thought it was alcohol poisoning. It's just odd. And I did a video actually showing the symptoms of alcohol poisoning. I'm not talking about when someone is drunk. I'm talking about hardcore alcohol poisoning and spinal injury, not when a person is about to die, but when there has been injury to the spinal cord. Some of the symptoms overlap, at least her not being able to talk, her being lethargic, her being unresponsive, all these things. Ugh. The Mexico government, according to the leaked documents in the Metropolis MX, think it's a conspiracy. But let's move into who she actually believes was in the room. Let's go.
Ms. Robinson, do you know these women? Who are they?
I don't know the ones that's video.
Pause really quick. I love Nancy Grace, but she keeps trying to say these women, and yes, those women are evil. But what about the men there? Because, baby, it looked like a devil's paradise. That's all I'm saying. So she keeps trying to put the focus on the women. I hold Khalil more responsible than anyone. Everybody's responsible, but let's not forget everybody there was an agent of the devil. And Khalil, he did unspeakable.
You and her, I just know the one that was standing there beside Khalil Cook. And the other one, I didn't know him, the one that's saying fight back. I didn't know him.
Okay, hold on. Who is the person hitting her?
That's the DHU girl. And I didn't know her. I just know they went to college together.
I've got Dejani Jackson. How are you saying it?
I think it's I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I've got Dejani. That could be it's a crazy spelling. I don't know what it is. It looks like Dejani or Dejanay.
Her name is Dejanay. Yeah,
that's it. It's Dejanay because it's got A-E on the end. You're right. Dejanay Jackson. Then you've got Winter Donovan, and it's spelled Wenter. Is that another female?
Yes.
Then you've got Kalia Cook, the friend boy, the man.
Yes.
So it's those three and your daughter, Quella, correct?
Yes.
Guys.
Okay. This is actually groundbreaking. Now, if you don't know, the Metropolis MX, that's a local paper in Cabos, literally leaked that the investigators believe that they are focusing on Winter Donovan and Khalil Cook and, of course, Dejanay as the three people that were in that room. A lot of people said, but there was a fourth person taping. There was a fourth person. That was Malik. That was Malik. Listen. Definitely, there was a fourth person taping. But from a legal standpoint, because you see Khalil to the side, because you see the mother believes it's Winter Donovan, and the Metropolis MX's sources in the Mexico Police Department are also saying that it's Winter Donovan, right? They both believe it's Winter Donovan. They believe from the side thing that it's Khalil Cook, the mother, and the Metropolis MX, and what their informants are telling them. Now, could it be Khalil Cook? It could, but they're going to need Dejanay Winter, could it be Malik? It could, but they're going to need Dejanay, they're going to need Winter, and they're going to need Khalil to actually spill the beans about who it was. Because think about it. If the mother's recollection at the time she received that call was correct, one, her baby had already transcended, but two, Nasir was there. Nasir might have been there. So if you hear a man's voice saying, just fight, you know maybe it's not Khalil's because you don't see the lips move, but who is it? Is it Malik or is it Nasir? Because again, that time frame now, they got a call. Her first call was between 4 and 5 saying that they were alcohol poisoning and they were going to call a doctor. And then a little bit later, they called the doctor. And then a little bit later, they called her and said she had transcended. If that is true, then Nasir, you were also there too. This is why I imagine they want Dejanay. Now, this to me is the most groundbreaking, explosive thing. Why isn't the case moving forward? You guys, pay attention.
What I don't understand is why the case is not moving forward. What's going on with the Mexican authorities?
But I'm not behind the scenes, so I can't answer beyond that.
Ms. Robinson, he's right. Gary Davison is correct. Ms. Robinson, what are they telling you?
Well, they're not telling me anything. They're not even telling me whose name is on the arrest warrant that they have. But we know there's a one out there, and we're hoping that they relocate them real soon. We haven't heard anymore.
Do you know where these girls are?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, you guys, pause. That was something powerful. A lot of people were saying, if Dejanay is being detained, the parents would know. They would be the first to know. She literally just said that the FBI and Mexico police are not telling them anything. This is no offense to the parents. I don't think the FBI is not being ignorant, and neither is the Mexico law enforcement. This is standard for high-profile murder cases. They come, they talk to you, they keep your cards close to the chest. That's what happens. They did not even share whose name is on the arrest warrant. The Metropolis MX were the first people to leak that it was Dejanay, and they kept saying that she was arrested. Now, reports are coming out, even though everybody keeps looking at Interpol, we don't see anything in Interpol. Reports are coming out that possibly what's going on is she is under a provisional arrest. The provisional arrest is issued by the Office of International Affairs. They are the office in the Department of Justice that handles all criminal extraditions to and from the United States. One of the very important things to know about a provisional arrest, even though it is an arrest, throw everything you know about your constitutional rights for an arrest out the window. It is called a provisional arrest. A provisional arrest is nothing like a regular arrest. You do not have the same rights and opportunities afforded to you that you do under the Constitution if it is a provisional arrest, because a treaty is controlling. For one, they don't like giving bail with a provisional arrest. So forget that. You know how there's the Uniform Bail Reform Act that said everybody has to go in front of a judge within a certain time to get bail? That does not apply if you are a provisional arrest. And on top of that, in the handbook, they say, and this is public information. If anybody wants to go to the OAI, go look at my video in Groundbreaking if you want any other stuff. This is public information. But what I'm trying to say is, you don't even get bail, and they strongly discourage it. And if they, for whatever reason, they do argue for a bail hearing, you have to wait for all the information to come in and for them to make a decision on whether they're going to issue a warrant before you can even get a bail hearing. That's right. A provisional arrest, right? I'm putting a link to the video that has all the receipts. It's on the Office of International Affairs. A provisional arrest is when you say this person is a flight risk. We know that we need to get, in normal times, we need to get all the paperwork forward. And then you guys make a decision on whether you'll issue a warrant. And then when the warrant is issued, then you guys can snatch her. Provisional arrest is when you say, no. They're a flight risk. We already know. We need to move on them boys tonight or they will be gone tomorrow. Again, the Cabo 6 literally led authorities to believe that they would be there the next day for questioning. They fled. They did not get in contact. Authorities had to track them down. They've already proven they are flight risk. Dejanay, who knew that you ended somebody's life, you left and you were a flight risk. So what they do is, she's a flight risk. They snatch you up and detain you immediately, and then give the country or state that wants you for a warrant, they give them a certain amount of time frame to assemble the application, to get all the paperwork ready. Then when they get the paperwork, they make a decision on whether they think a warrant is necessary. Once they make a decision on the warrant, right, then you can have a bail hearing. You can't get a bail hearing before that. All the paperwork needs to be in there, and they need to make a decision. Once they make a decision, you go in front of the magistrate's judge, and they decide. You go in front of the magistrate judge, and you can get a bail hearing. They do not give you an attorney, unlike maybe the judge will. They do not give you an attorney unless the judge sees fit, but the judge does not have to, and the U.S. prosecutor says, no, we're not doing this, okay? Let's also not forget that a lot of people say, but she can fight the extradition. When it comes to provisional arrest and even extradition, because the crime treaty between the U.S. and Mexico is so strong. Again, someone hurt somebody in the U.S., they run to Mexico. Somebody hurt somebody in Mexico, they run to the U.S. They've been doing this for decades, right? Under that treaty, they want to make sure, and this is in the actual wording, on the governmental website, they want to make sure that the treaty is actually protected. So what does that mean? There's only very narrow reasons that you can fight extradition under that criminal treaty. The number one thing you can do to fight is to say, it's not me. But even to say it's not me, you are still held in that provisional arrest, which is like being detained. But since it's provisional, go read about provisional arrest. It's not entered into the system. You're technically not arrested. It's a provisional arrest. In law, words mean something. A provisional arrest is not an arrest, okay? As we know it, okay? That provisional word changes the nature and meaning of the arrest, and it operates some like a detention. Now, just hear me out on this. Once you get the charges, once they make once they get all the, while they're holding you on the provisional arrest, because they grab you first, because you're a flight risk, you were bad, so now they're going to punish you. You don't get to walk around free. They literally now assemble the paperwork. One of the reasons why there might not be any paperwork in the red file is because none's been submitted yet. Remember how they said the informants in the Mexico Police Department said that they're trying to get all the paperwork together to see if a warrant can be issued? That's what happens in a provisional arrest. Look at the applicant, the complaint, paragraph 9, it actually says. So you grab it, you go, they decide on whether a warrant can be issued. When a warrant is issued, you can try to, you can go and you prepare for extradition. Once the warrant is issued, in between preparing for extradition, you can apply for bail to be like, well, can I walk around, right? Bail is usually denied in most of the cases, but even then, if you fight it, the only reasons you can fight it is that wasn't me. She can't fight it. You're an American citizen. They got fingerprints. They know who you are. They have video. And they have the people that were on the scene that can also eyewitness you. Another way that you can fight it is by saying, oh my God, like, wait a second. I don't think that there's enough evidence here. That's what most people think. That's not a way you can fight it. If you say, but wait, I'm innocent. Okay, go talk to them boys in Mexico. Because again, we're not technically arresting you. This is provisional arrest, which is a detention, and you have to go to Mexico to prove your innocence. But wait, I wasn't even the one to do it. All right, go tell it to the judge in Mexico. But wait, it was manslaughter. She was trying to fight me. All right, but we're still deporting you. Go tell it to the judge in Mexico. They're not looking on whether you are actually innocent or guilty. They are looking to see if there is probable cause. Probable means it is more likely than not that you did what they said they did. That you said what they said. You get it. You did what they said you did. And then you have to go to that court and fight for your innocence. Okay. Now that we know that, also with everybody saying, okay, well, how can it show in the system? How long does it take? I did a little research on provisional arrest. Apparently, they're used a lot in the drug war. The leader of Mexico's United Cartels was extradited to the U.S. They faced charges of importing over 1,100 pounds of crystal meth. Oh my. But get this, the provisional arrest certificate was issued on March 30th, 2021 for Comparan Rodriguez, okay? However, he was extradited a few months later. I also have to say that there was this other guy. Sometimes it moves pretty quickly. There was just a low level, and I would assume that the big guy they got had the money to fight the case, but he was eventually extradited. However, there's other cases where Mexico national extradited from Mexico to United States to face international drug trafficking charges. And he was picked up, I believe, let's get this right. He was picked up on October 2015. He was served with a provisional arrest warrant requesting his extradition to the United States. He remained detained in Mexico pending his extradition. Again, when you're detained, they literally hold you while they're getting the paperwork together. It explains why there might not be any paperwork. He was extradited from Mexico to the United States on October 20th, 2022. So sometimes these extraditions can move super quickly. Other times they can take months. I do believe it depends on how much money you have to fight the case. I do not believe that Desjardins' family is as wealthy as a cartel king to fight the case. But let's keep going.
They stopped the passport. They know where each one of them live. All of them is somewhere hiding. None of them is at the address that's on their passport. None of them there.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait for a jury to hear about how they hid under the bed at Mommy's house.
Now, she did say that she believes that their passports are no longer active and that the FBI knows exactly where they are. I 100% agree with this. The one thing I do think I do believe that Desjardins has been detained, not through Interpol, but through a provisional arrest that's provided in the Office of International Affairs, and provisional arrests are used all the time, okay? Watch my video, Groundbreaking, if you want the actual receipts, but it's used all the time. I will say this. I know the FBI, the other of the Cabo Six, the FBI knows where they are. Do you honestly think that the Federal Bureau of Investigations opened a murder case, right? Opened a murder investigation behind the cause of a murder. And do you honestly believe they weren't keeping tracks on those people, checking their phones, getting search warrants, confiscating phones, getting subpoenas for the phone records? And for the people that say that the FBI said that they're not bringing charges, why doesn't FBI open a case if not to file charges? They didn't open an inquiry like, what's going on? That's an inquiry. They opened an investigation into the death. People open investigations into the death and look at suspects with the intent to file charges, because they're looking at everybody being like, I know one of y'all did it. Let's just bring all them boys in and see who starts talking. Again, can we just like apply a little bit reality to this? But let's keep going.
The documents from the EMTs, she was declared dead 15 minutes after they got there. They did not get there and work on her for 3 hours like you were told.
Yeah.
She was declared dead within 15 minutes of the EMTs getting there, and the friends did not want her removed to the hospital. Do you understand that to be true now?
I understand that, what is being said. I don't know which way to believe. I believe the autopsy, but the so-called friends, I just don't know what to say about them. I just think it was just terrible the way they done her,
All of this from alcohol poisoning, but yet the autopsy does not say anything about a good time the day before, right? Did she?
This is literally when she talks about her last words to Shanquella. Again, just to touch on the police report. The police report was leaked by informants, was leaked to the Metropolis MX by informants. A lot of stuff that Nancy Grace is saying was leaked by the Metropolis MX. Clearly, they have plants inside. Clearly, they have informants. But listen to what she said with her last words.
Discuss any tensions with the other women?
No, I talked with Shanquella and I watched her Instagram. She spoke and she seemed to be very happy, sound like Shanquella normally sounds. And, like I said, I told her, enjoy yourself. She said she was getting ready to eat. The chef was cooking some tacos. I said, well, enjoy yourself. I will talk to you tomorrow and love you. And I know spoke with her again.
That's a powerful thing. And it's actually heartbreaking. And the fact that she's going to describe what Khalil, again, I know Nancy keeps looking at the girls and Dejanay is the monster. She did it. But baby, we need to have a look at Khalil because nothing's adding up, but everything that does is very, very sick. Listen to this.
CBS.
Shanquella was sweet, very kind. She had a heart of gold. She loved everybody. She didn't mistreat nobody. Never, no one could possibly ever say anything bad about her because she was a good person.
Was she close friends with the people that she went on this trip with?
Well, all I know that she went to college with them. And one of the guys supposed to have been her best friend. And he had went on family trips with us, and he'd been to the family house. We've all been on trips together, just good time. And I never thought that he could be that low to do my child like that.
Have you heard from him since all of this happened?
Yeah, he came to the house 4 days in a row until he found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
So let me understand this, Mrs. Robinson. The friend, Kalia Cook, comes to your house several times after they get home from their vacation. But as soon as the true cause of death comes out, this dislocation, the atlas luxation of the spinal cord, then he suddenly quits showing up. And I bet you haven't heard from any of them ever since you learned the true cause of death, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Because they're all lying.
Yes.
And they know that you know.
Y'all, this was a powerful interview. But like Nancy said, and thank goodness Nancy Grace is involved. She is as mainstream as it comes. She started the whole true crime genre. She has been an advocate for amplifying the voices of families that want justice. And I hope that other mainstream networks, especially their investigative reporters, actually get on top of this and keep amplifying. We know that the place we live in, we need to hear something in the news every single day for something to happen, because as soon as a news cycle is skipped, as soon as it gets old, people forget. You guys, so kudos for Nancy for actually amplifying this case and actually giving Mrs. Robinson a platform to actually share. But you guys, she dropped some bombs. She destroyed Nasir's alibi. She let us know that it could have been maybe Nasir or Malik. If Malik arrived when he said and when that call took place, it could be Malik. She let us know that the FBI and the Mexico authorities are sharing zero information with the family, not even whose name is in the arrest warrant. They have completely kept them in the dark, not to be ignorant, but because that is how investigations go. It is expected for people that have experience with the feds or any type of federal detention that when Dejanay is actually arrested, they will be notified that she was arrested, and then the press will be notified. But she will be officially arrested when she steps foot on Mexico soil under the American-Mexico Treaty. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.